In the 1960s, the Terai region of western Nepal was opened up to outsiders. Malaria had finally been eradicated from the region, and newcomers of higher castes came flooding in. It wasn't long before the outsiders took control of the region and forced the native Taro people to work as indentured servants on the land that was once their own. To pay their landlords, many Taro families began selling their daughters as kitchen slaves. This was called the practice of Kamlari, and for the Taro people, it became a way of life.
यसरी शहरबाट मान्छेहरूलाई तिम्रो छोरी मलाई देऊ काम गर्नको लागि अनि हामी पढाइदिन्छौँ लेखाइदिन्छौँ भनेर एकदमै लोभ लालच देखाएर चाहिँ त्यसैमा आउँदाखेरि चाहिँ 6 वर्षको थिएँ राम्रोसँग म थाहा पनि पाउँदैन मलाई अलिकति मात्र याद छ कि हाम्रो दाङमा एउटा राप्ती नदी छ त्यो तर्ने बेला म तर्न सकिन मेरो दाइले मलाई काखमा बोकेर तराइदिनु भयो म त्यति सानो जब म अरूको काखमा बसेर त्यस्तो त खोला तरे भनेपछि म अरूको काम के गर्न सक्थे र जस्तो मलाई अहिले चाहिँ फिलिङ्स हुन्छ त्यस्तै नै गर्दा गर्दा अब काठमाडौँमा 1 महिना भयो 2 महिना भयो 1 वर्ष 2 वर्ष गर्दा गर्दा 12 वर्ष बित्यो.
This practice is only among the Taros in West Nepal, and there are other families just as poor who don't do this. The fact that the fathers had been bonded, the grandfathers had been bonded, the mothers had been bonded, the aunts had been bonded, it made it an okay thing to do.
In early 2000, the Nepal Youth Foundation made a commitment to end the practice of Kamlari and launched the Indentured Daughters program. First, they provided the Taro families with an economic solution by giving them a piglet or a goat. At the end of a year, the families could sell the animal for the same amount of money they were getting for their daughters' labor. NYF also organized demonstrations, helped the girls put on street plays, and pressured the Nepali government to enforce its own child labor laws. They insisted the rescued girls be returned to school or complete an intensive literacy program that would prepare them for vocational school. And they petitioned the Nepali government to provide money for their education. In just 16 years, almost 13,000 girls were rescued. They were reunited with their families, and they began their journeys towards lives of dignity and fulfillment.
हेल्प गरिरहेको थियो त्यसलाई पनि हामीले दिनुपर्छ र त्यसले गर्दा यो त एकैचोटि 3-4 वर्ष 8-10 वर्षमा यस्तो चेन्ज ल्याउन त्यतिको सजिलो काम होइन त्यसले गर्नाले फर्स्ट क्रेडिट हाम्रो नेपाल युथ फाउन्डेसनलाई दिनुपर्छ र गभर्नमेन्टलाई पनि बेला बेलामा कचकचाएर बिउजाएर अवेरनेस गराइरहेको युथ फाउन्डेसन हो त्यसले गर्नाले नेपाल युथ फाउन्डेसनलाई टप मोस्ट क्रेडिट फर्स्ट क्रेडिट त जान्छ भने र अरू एनजिओसहरूले पनि सपोर्ट त गरिरहेको थियो सबैले आफूले सक्दो सपोर्टहरू गरिरहेको थियो
Maghi Sagranti is a major Hindu holiday, and for generations, the festival provided the venue to negotiate or renew Kamlari contracts. In 2014, as a result of NYF's incredible success with the Indentured Daughters program, the festival was used as a venue to promote women's rights and to celebrate the first annual Kamlari Freedom Day. Olga, Sam, and the NYF Nepali staff were honored guests.
To think that the practice is finished it's an amazing accomplishment, and I think the main credit for it belongs to the girls themselves because they picked up on what their rights were and how to go about claiming them to an extent that we could not have hoped for. The transformation is just unbelievable.
फरक पाउँछु म एउटा जुठो भाँडा माझ्ने मान्छे आज केही गर्न सक्दैन रानी साहेब महारानी साहेब बोल्ने मुखले के हो त आफ्नो अधिकार भन्ने उहाँहरूलाई चाहिँ कसरी फिल गर्न सकिन्छ त्यो गर्न पाउँदाखेरि चाहिँ मलाई अहिले पहिलाको दुःखले चाहिँ मलाई अहिले साहस दिइरहेछ जस्तो लाग्छ त्यो पहिला जुन कमलरी बसेको कुरा चाहिँ अहिले मेरो हतियारको रूपमा भएको छ
Transformed into powerful activists, the freed Kamlari have partnered with the Nepal Youth Foundation to create their own NGO called the Former Kamlari Development Forum, or FKDF. The FKDF is dedicated to helping the girls rebuild their lives by encouraging them to finish their education, teaching them leadership skills, and by establishing local credit co-ops.
आर्थिक रूपले सबल कसरी बनाउन सकिन्छ त्यसको लागि चाहिँ मैले एउटा ममा भएको क्षमता हैन अहिले हाम्रो 32 वटा सहकारीहरू स्थापना भइसकेको छ कमलरीहरूको 5 जिल्लामा गरेर चाहिँ अहिले हाम्रो 3 वटा सहकारी यही महिना भित्र नै 35 वटा हाम्रो चाहिँ बनाउने लक्ष्य छ त्यसको लागि चाहिँ रोजगार हुँदै स्वरोजगार हुँदै र भोलिको जुन किसिमको आर्थिक समस्या गरिबी भन्ने एउटा जुन हाम्रो देशमा छ त्यो चाहिँ आर्थिक रूपमा चाहिँ हाम्रो परिवार समुदाय राष्ट्रलाई नै एउटा ठुलो हैन सहयोग पुग्ने छ र यो राष्ट्र नै एउटा आर्थिक रूपले हैन धनी देश जस्तो अहिले विकासोन्मुख छ भनेर चिनिएको छ भोलि गएर चाहिँ विकसित देश भनेर हाम्रो चिनिने छ भन्ने हामीले चाहिँ विश्वास छ 13 वर्षको आन्दोलनमा जसरी सफलता पायो त्यसरी तपाईहरुले पनि त्यो परिस्थितिलाई चिर्यो भने पक्कै पनि सफलता प्राप्त गर्नुहुनेछ भन्ने चाहिँ मेरो सन्देश र तपाईहरुलाई शुभकामना छ हस् धन्यवाद
After working 5 years as a Kamlari, Asmita received a small grant from the Nepal Youth Foundation. She completed 15 months of vocational training, and thanks to a small loan from the local co-op, she's now running her own nursery and vegetable business.
व्यवसाय गरिसकेपछि हैन सबभन्दा पहिले त मेरो यो घर राम्रो थिएन पानी पर्दाखेरि सबै चुइन्थ्यो हैन सबै चुइन्थ्यो प्लास्टिकहरु गराएर अनि सुत्न पर्थ्यो सबभन्दा पहिले त म त्यो घर बनाए हैन अनि त्यो भाइ अहिले 10मा पढ्दैछ बहिनी पनि 10मा हो अनि दिदी 12 पास गरेर अहिले ब्याचलर भयो हैन शिक्षामा पनि लगानी गरिराखेको छु अनि यता औषधि यता उटी गर्नु पर्यो भने पनि त्यही पैसा जान्छ सबै यो परिवार चलाउनलाई
Asmita is teaching the modern farming techniques she learned at vocational school to other families in her village. And she also trained 40 freed Kamlari in the nearby village of Uttar Bakari.
हैन अनि परिवारहरु पनि आफ्नै घरमा अहिले काम गरिराख्नु भएको छ पहिला अर्काको घरमा जानु पर्थ्यो तर अहिले जानु पर्छ छैन आफ्नै उसमा सीमित छम हैन यो सब मैले के पनि गर्न सक्थेन यो जुन प्रगति देखिराख्नु भएको छ त्यो साइड त्यतिकै हुन्थ्यो होला यो गर्न सक्थेन
Maybe other societies wouldn't be so open to the kind of dynamic awareness that we had in West Nepal. But there are some lessons here, I think, that other countries could practice. The street plays and the lawsuits and the posters and the Kamlari clubs, and mostly in the empowerment of the returned girls. They're the ones who really helped make it successful. The context is different in each country, but I think it's possible to eradicate this kind of practice in other places as well.
Like millions of victims of child slavery, the Kamlari girls survived years of brutal treatment without hope, schooling, or love. Their accomplishments and their commitment to each other offer hope and inspiration to millions who are still struggling for freedom and human dignity. Change a life today.